All right, today we are diving into what is arguably the most critical and maybe the most dangerous shipping lane on the entire planet, the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a huge claim, right? But stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see why it's really not an exaggeration and why the fate of the global economy could literally hang on what happens right here. So what exactly is it? Well, the Strait of Hormuz is this narrow waterway that sits between Iran to the north and Oman and the UAE to the south. But don't let that simple geography fool you. It's what we call a choke point, a bottleneck that could, and I mean this, shake the entire world. To really get why, we first have to talk about its role as the planet's energy heartbeat. I think this metaphor just nails it. It's this tiny, almost insignificant-looking corridor, but it quietly controls the rhythm of our modern world. It's like the main artery keeping the whole global economy alive. To really wrap our heads around its importance, you need to stop thinking of it as a strait and start picturing a massive flowing river, a river made of oil. Okay, if there's one number you take away from all this, let it be this one: 1/5. Every single day, 1/5 of the entire world's oil supply passes through this single narrow passage. Let that sink in for a second. 20% of the energy that powers our planet gets squeezed right through here. And to put that into perspective, we're talking about something like 20 million barrels of oil moving through the strait every 24 hours. The scale of it is it's almost impossible to really comprehend. So who depends on this river of oil? Well, it's a who's who of energy giants. We're talking massive producers like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, and even Iran itself. They all rely on this single route to get their oil out to the world. Okay, so we've established it's absolutely vital. Now let's get into why it's such a danger zone. The risk really starts with the geography itself. At its narrowest point, the strait is only about 33 kilometers wide. But that's deceiving. For those massive oil tankers, the actual usable shipping lanes are just 3 kilometers wide in each direction. It is an incredibly tight squeeze. And you can imagine a squeeze that tight makes it a prime target. This is one of the most militarized shipping lanes on Earth. The threats are everywhere. You've got the potential for naval mines, drone attacks, warships constantly on patrol. Heck, all it would take is one tanker having an accident to block the entire channel. And the second anything happens here, no matter how small this quote becomes a reality, the entire world economy just holds its breath. Traders panic, oil prices start to go crazy, and you can bet world leaders are on the phone immediately. Any incident here would kick off what you can only describe as a global domino effect. If something were to go seriously wrong, the consequences would ripple out instantly everywhere. And it would be a pretty predictable chain reaction. First, boom, the channel is blocked. Instantly, oil prices spike. Then the cost to insure any ship that even thinks about going near the region skyrockets. And the final domino to fall, the cost of living goes up for everyone, everywhere. And listen, this is not some abstract economic problem you'd just read about. This would hit you directly, right in the wallet. You'd see it at the gas station. Airline tickets would get more expensive. Higher shipping costs mean everything you buy costs more, right down to the food at the grocery store. So all of this really brings us to a very simple and, frankly, a very uncomfortable truth about our modern world. And here it is. Our entire global system, the way we live, work, travel, everything, runs on energy. And a massive chunk of that energy has to squeeze through this one little corridor that's geographically smaller than a lot of major cities. So I want to leave you with a couple of questions to really chew on. What do you think would actually happen if this strait closed for just 1 week? Seriously, would oil prices double, triple? Would global trade grind to a halt, or would we figure something out? And who would get hit the hardest? Would it be the big manufacturing economies in Asia? Would it be Europe, the United States? Or would it just be a total catastrophe for everybody, everywhere? You know, when you look at a map, the Strait of Hormuz might seem like just a narrow blue line. But it is one of the most powerful pieces of geography on Earth, a place where energy, politics, and global wealth all collide every single day. So the final question is this: is the world watching this one little blue line too closely? Or maybe, just maybe, not closely enough?